Let's have a kick butt class. All right, the recordings have started. Taylor, what's up? Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I gotta make sure I start my workout. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. All right, what's up, gang? We got Tyler, we got Don, we got Taylor. Who else just popped in there? Who just snuck? What's up, Trevor? Let's go. What's up, Trevor? Trevor's gonna love my B vitamin month. All right, y'all, let's do this thing. Hey, we're gonna start off today. With the yoga ball. So if you got a yoga ball, go ahead and grab a yoga ball. If you don't have a yoga ball, grab a chair, grab a stool, maybe hang off the back of your sofa, or use the arm, all right, the side of your sofa, and just kind of allow your spine to get into this natural extension position. And then once you get there, if you have the luxury of interlacing your fingers behind your head and just kind of allowing this spine extension, this pressure in the thoracic spine and the cervical spine to just gently apply itself, because typically we're in a different position than this. We spend a lot of time in a flexion spine. What you might notice is, as you spend more and more time here, you might notice that it feels like it's good to take a deep breath. It feels good to take a deep breath. So start to let that inhale through the nose set in. Nice long exhales. If you're feeling so much tension because you just don't want to bend this way, and your chest is tight and your breath is tight, okay, back off, or you're probably going to need a bigger yoga ball maybe because you're just getting too much pressure. Or you can back off. You can kind of lower your butt closer to the ground and take a bunch of pressure off your spine. It still feels good. You're still in a spine extension. If you don't have anything to hang on or to get your spine extension drill, I highly recommend trying to use a sofa. You could even lay off the edge of a picnic table. Right, we're just allowing this almost like an upward facing dog position, folks. And then what you're trying to do, we'll take it to the next level. You're trying to breathe in through your nose and relax your mind and just allow yourself to start to feel present here in your workout, here on your mat, or here on your ball, or your sofa, or your stack of cushions, whatever it might be. I just want you to sit in this rib cage blooming spine extension, head dropping back position. And then see how many deep breaths that you can get and how much expansion, because you're taking a deep inhale, you get expansion in the ribs. If you can take your arms up overhead, maybe interlace the fingers, go for that. If it's more comfortable for you to have your arms out to the side and stretch your pectorals and biceps, you can do that. If this whole dang thing's too intense and you need to lower your buns all the way down and put your hands on your knees, you can sit right here, folks. You can just hang out right here and let your head drop back, right? I got an 82-year-old client who probably would benefit from this a lot more than just trying to go straight into a full back bend. Still valuable. We're going to spend about another 30 seconds, so there's no rush, but we're going to move on. If you haven't already opened up with your arms out wide like a T for your pectorals and biceps, give it a go. Maybe wiggle your fingers, roll your wrists around. You'll feel some stretch and some tension in the forearm muscles. Kind of feels a little more of like a nervy stretch, actually, when you really straighten out the arms and get those wrists moving clockwise and counterclockwise. 2 or 3 more big breaths. Nice job, y'all. All right, let's go ahead and, if you're on a ball, let's go ahead and come up into a seated position on the ball. If you're on your couch, Well, you can come up to standing or come up into a seated position and then drop your elbows down below your knees, kind of towards your ankles, and just get this opposite, this counter posture, this flexion state. It's going to feel really good. We just put a bunch of pressure on the back of the spine, the posterior position of the spine. Now we're starting to put pressure on the front, closing in on the front. You're going to feel your hips here. Good. Go ahead and straighten out your legs. I'm going to lift my buns up off this ball. I know that some of you out there don't have a ball, but I'm going to imagine that you all do. Okay? So you're going to stretch your hamstrings now. It's just a nice little transition right into the hamstrings. And then you can go right knee bend, left knee bend. Everybody can do what I'm doing right now, by the way, because you don't need any equipment. I got my feet slightly wide. I'm hinging over my hips, or excuse me, over my thighs. And I'm going to go right and left several times. Several times, right and left, in no rush. Feels really good. Head below the heart, increase blood flow, oxygen to the brain. This will make you feel warmer. I actually used to use this as a technique for cutting weight in high school and college for wrestling. Anytime you would go run and then come inside and curl into a ball and let your head position get lower than your heart, you would sweat more. You would drop more water weight. It was an effective tool to get a little bit extra juice out of your weight cut. Kind of a bit of an extreme approach, or I should say advanced approach. Good. Bring yourself on up. Okay, bring your feet together. Right hand low back, left hand comes to your low back. Now that should have all felt pretty dang good, and you might feel 5% calmer. All right, so maybe a little calmer, maybe a little more present, but we're going to lock our knees. Squeeze your butt tight. Hands are behind your back, palms against the top of your buns. You're kind of grabbing the top of your buns here. Squeeze the elbows together. Lift the heart up, knees locked tight, thighs tight, glutes tight, hips go forward, heart lifts up, head drops back. All right, you're not going for this big, impressive back bend. What you're doing is you're keeping this bottom frame from your glutes, thighs, calf muscles, ankles. That's like on a crane. The bottom half of a crane is super heavy, and it has these huge weights and long arms that come out to stabilize the bottom. All right, well, your upper half right now is that crane, so you got to make that lower half super stable, strong, so this upper half can keep going back to the point that I can look back at the camera here and make eye contact with you all while I'm in a back bend. Oh yeah. And change. Coming out nice and slow. If you went really hard, you might get a little lightheaded. Breathe in through the nose, which is also correlated to low B vitamins, by the way, everybody. That's a side effect when you stand up really quick and you get lightheaded and you're kind of B vitamins. There's an association there. I'm not saying it's the cause, but there is an association. There's an interesting, notable association. That's vitamin B1 and B12. Let's grab a stick, folks. Remember I said we're gonna need a broom. We're gonna need a mop or a Swiffer. What I want you to start doing is just start getting into your shoulders. All right, I do want to do 3 rounds through a strength circuit, but I want to cover some of my favorite mobility exercises. Now I'm going to start just kind of moving this stick in a straight circle right over the top, and you can see that my grip's not breaking here. I got all 5 fingers wrapped. I got a closed fist here. That's what we're going for. Some of you are not going to be able to do that because it puts a lot of stress on your wrist and your shoulders, okay? Others are going to need to take a peace sign or an okay sign kind of grip where you let go with 2 or 3 fingers. It'll give you some more forgiveness. But we're just trying to go up and over. If you can't go up and over and touch your butt, the back of your butt, that's okay. What I want you to do instead, I just want you to find a way. Just do it once or twice. Find a way to where you can touch your butt. Find a way to do it. What do you got to do? Okay. All right, good. Now we're going to go clockwise. Or we'll just go to the right. Okay, we're going to go around. Notice my bottom arm stays straight, and then my left arm goes straight, and you're just going in a circle. Doot, 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 doot. Wrists, shoulders, elbows, rib cage. Wrists, shoulders, elbows, rib cage. Mobility for the biggest joint structures in your upper body. Let's go 3 more. Let's go 2 more. Or last one right here. Okay, go the other way. Other way. Some of you are probably not keeping pace with me, and that's okay. You'll also notice, everybody, I want you to try to touch this stick. You're gonna roll this stick off the back of your butt, and then you're gonna roll this stick off the front of your hip bones, top of your butt, front of your hip bones, all the way back to the top of your butt. Get it back here and figure out what you gotta do. What do you gotta do to get it down there? What do you gotta do to get that stick across the hip girdle? All right, toot toot. Toot toot. That's my Xena language, toot toot. It's our special daddy Xena language. TT toot toot. Toot toot TT, whenever she's like running really fast or walking with cute little feet. I'm like, TT toot, toot toot T. She says it back sometimes. It's cute. All right, relax, y'all. Nice. Is there anything? No, let's move on from this one. Okay, y'all. Now I got a yoga mat here still, so I got one more tool to use, and it's an upward facing dog, downward facing dog, child's pose. We got 5 times through. Breath to movement. You're thinking about your breath on your inhale, looking up, and then exhale, tucking your toes, hips are up and back. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, 5 times through, and we'll close out with a child's pose. Tucking toes, hips up and back, exhale breath, downward facing dog. Inhale breath, upward facing dog. Point your toes, drop your knees, press through your palms, lift your chin, look straight up at the ceiling, directly above your head, as if there was a string hanging. You could look right up at that string. Exhale breath, hips up and back, down dog. Stretching through your shoulders. Right heel down, left heel down, hip side to side, hamstrings, calf muscles, Achilles tendons. Shoulder stretch, one of the best shoulder stretches in all of yoga, by the way. Opening up through your rib cage, head is below your heart. Increase blood flow and oxygen to the brain. You also have the arms above the head, which makes it so you can take a deep breath, so fill the lungs up. A couple more times, fill those lungs up. You can get a little aggressive with your exhale, it's okay. Good, let's go one more time, up dog. Point your toes, flex your calves, squeeze your glutes, look up, inhale breath. And exhale, we'll go one more time, downward facing dog, find it real quick, 3, get deep, 2, press the heels, 1, good, come down to your knees, big toes come together, knees are wide, hips sit back towards your heels, walk your hands up, 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 way up, go up, drop your eyebrow ridge down to the mat. Drop your eyebrow ridge down to the mat. And now, establish a nose inhale and a nose exhale. What this is going to do, it's going to tap into your nervous system a little bit, and it's going to start to quiet the volume of your mind. And if your mind is changing channels often, so it's like not only is it high volume, but it's sitting there changing the freaking station every 10 seconds. Well, something like this, what we're doing right now, is a great way to turn down the volume and to get the station to just chill out and stay on the same dang station so we can hold a consistent energy. You need that so you can focus on anything, whether it's science, your job, your workout, your kids, your relationship, it doesn't matter. Relax. Child's pose is a surrendering position. It comes with a surrendering type of energy quality. All right, you're surrendering. You're bowing before kings, gods, historical references. This position in human culture has been something of surrender since, well, forever. that has an energetic quality to it. It's okay. Allow yourself to just kind of surrender. You're not surrendering to anything or anyone else, just yourself. Good, nice job. Let's come up onto all fours. Let's do a classic actually. Let's sit on our heels here. Sit on our heels, full compression of your knees. Let's get a nice stretch through the quadricep, maybe lean back, get into the shin a little bit. Let's get a few deep breaths in through your nose. If you can ride some wheelies, go ahead and ride some wheelies. If you're that person out there who's like, I can barely even sit my butt to my heels, put a towel between the ground and your ankles and then sit back. Or put a towel under your butt here and sit back. That'll help the knees, okay? If you put a towel under the ankles, it'll help your ankles. If you put it under your hamstrings, it's gonna help the pressure on the knees. But you wanna have a high level of compression tolerance in your knee. You wanna have a high level of stress tolerance in your shin and ankle tendons. It's very important from keeping things from getting dry and brittle over time and developing just lack of blood flow. You start to develop lack of blood flow, you're gonna develop lack of neural connectivity to the brain, and that area is gonna slowly lose its electrical connection to your brain, and you're not gonna be able to use it. And that's what happens. I see it in people that just literally can't use a body part. It's like gone. It's not even in their ethos. They can't even remember how to talk to it. It's just there, but they can't talk to it. See it in a lot of like 65 plus people with their upper backs and their ankles, especially the back muscles. That's a big one. All right, let's shift forward. Let's make our way up to our feet. Nice, that's what I wanted. Okay. Yeah, let's start off. We're gonna start off with 100 high knee jogs. We're just going right here. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? We're just gonna develop a nice poppy cadence. All right, we're gonna get the heart rate going. Hopefully this will push some of y'all into zone 2, zone 3. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. We got 100, let's get moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900. We're breathing. And if you got a heart rate monitor of some sort, now is when you put it on and turn on your workout. So you can start to track and see how your nervous system is responding to what you're doing. And then you can start to notice trends in your workouts. Interesting. I got a nice little 128, little pump there. All right, friends, here we go. Grab something heavy. We need either a kettlebell, which is what I'm gonna use, or you could use some dumbbells, which I'll also demonstrate. But we got a kettlebell clean and squat. If you've got a heavy kettlebell, we're right here. Clean it, squat it, release it to the floor. Clean it, squat it, release it to the floor, okay? We got 10 to 15. If you're using dumbbells, okay, for example, you go here. Clean it, squat it, woo! Come all the way, you don't have to come all the way down and touch, but get down to this level, okay? All right, y'all, I'm not gonna use that, and I also didn't put the dang clip in, right? Almost lost it there. Okay, set of 10, clean squat, clean and squat. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 9er.
and relax. You want to feel like your core muscles are highly involved there. If you can get your core to be highly involved, you know you're using a pretty heavy weight. And you're getting in the right position. Nice job, y'all. So, we've got either pull-ups. If you have a pull-up bar, you can bust out pull-ups. If you don't have a pull-up bar, two options. We've got dumbbell alternating bent row. This right here. Right there, kind of like a locomotion style. Or alternating kettlebell row. 1, 2. Okay, 20 to 30 reps. If you're using a kettlebell, 20 is quite a bit. That's plenty. If you're using dumbbells with locomotion, go for 30. Here we go. I'm gonna use a kettlebell since I'm on a kettlebell train anyways. 3, 2, 1. 20 to 30. Let's go. 1, 2. Now this transition here, I pull it up and release and catch. 4. Pull, release, catch. 5. Pull, release, catch. 6. 7. 20. Ooh, little bit spicy, especially if you go heavy. So interesting fact about vitamin B12 is that your liver holds a 400-day supply of this compound. Now I cross-checked that against various other vitamins and minerals that our body deems necessary for storage. And it seems that of all these compounds, B12 has like a, I don't know, I think it's like 3 or 4x time frame on the next closest one, which I think it was vitamin A, I think was the next closest contender, and you've got like a several month supply. Iron, you've got like a 6-week supply. B1, you've got like a year to 150 day type supply. But this B12, cobalamin, you've got like a 2-year supply of this stuff. And when it runs out, there are massive cognitive changes, blood changes. Your blood can't carry iron the same. Your DNA doesn't rewrite itself the same. It's absolutely fascinating, and this is all verified scientific facts, like quite incredible stuff when you start to look at it. And then you look at like the biological, like natural biological phenomena of like behavior amongst the animal kingdom when it comes to the single food highest in this B12, that it just so happens to be consumed by carnivores. Okay, I'll be clear here. That is a distinction. But not only that, but it's consumed by the alpha pack leader of that carnivore hunting pack. And this is like widely agreed upon, you know, by the members of the pack, that the one with the highest workload gets the most nutritional part. And it's like that in the marine world. It's like that in the mammal world. It's quite incredible because, you know, a pack leader is keeping the pack together, reproducing a lot, keeping other pack members at bay, navigating hunting, navigating travel. There's a lot higher demand, so they have to be more commanding. And it seems like this liver that contains B12 is this like almost biological evolutionary molecule that literally changes evolution kind of to that way or not, which is a whole nother philosophical topic that's very interesting to dive into, and I can totally nerd out about. All right, here we go. We got Bulgarian single leg squats coming up next. Right here, y'all. 1. We're gonna stay on one leg, or excuse me, Bulgarian, what am I talking about? Bulgarian single leg deadlift, right here. Okay, we're going opposite hand to the floor or opposite hand to a kettlebell, or if you really want to get after it, you use a kettlebell, okay? I'm gonna steer away from the kettlebell and just stay in my strength here, and I'm gonna go 10 to 15, nice and smooth, left foot first, 2. But that whole rant, you know, a 400-day supply when we don't even store iron for that long, or vitamin A, which sustains our brain and eyes. 400 days seems to be pretty biologically imperative. It's in charge of creating red blood cells that deliver oxygen. And if you don't have that, you can't carry iron through the body. Like, your ability to vehicle iron through the blood is impaired because you don't contain B12. Absolutely fascinating. And a lot of the metrics that we use to measure B12 in modern medicine are largely, it seems like that metric is far lower than is necessary. And the higher the workload and higher demand you have physically, like an athlete, for example, you need much higher quantities, which only makes sense. Once we get our 10 to 15, we're planting right foot and we're going the other side. I'm moving. 1, 2, vitamin B1, another very important vitamin, largely in control of your nervous system, okay? Associated with feeling calm, collected, cool, right? Without it, on low levels of it, people are irritable, they're anxious, they're nervous, they feel kind of skittish and like kind of weak, or maybe just an increase in just overall fear, right? B vitamins, people, it's fascinating. You look at vitamin B3, niacin, I got 2 more. That's an interesting one. Vitamin B3, niacin, is, I mean, look at what it does when people take it. It turns them beet red like a tomato, okay? And what's this doing? It's increasing blood flow to the edges of your vascular system, the capillaries, the smallest little the smallest little webbing of your blood vessels. Okay, up into your brain too. You feel a pressure in the brain when you take vitamin B3. So we got nervous function, increased blood flow, increased DNA repair, increased red blood cell production, increased oxygen carrying capacity, increased iron and mineral carrying capacity, all because of these B vitamins, these various array of these B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, okay? They're folate. They're all highly relevant, folks. Here we go, we got push-ups. We're gonna go minimum 15, upper class is 25. All right, your push-up, any way you like it. There's nothing really better than a push-up for the chest and shoulders. But here's the kicker, folks. Right after you're done with your 15 to 25, you're gonna hop up, grab 2 dumbbells, and you've got double overhead press for 10. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's get our push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo, that's 5. And then I'm gonna start off in a reasonable fashion. Okay, and I'm gonna grab me some 20s here. Double pumping 20s for 10. Let's go. You don't have to be with me right now. You can still move at your own pace. We'll take a little break after. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that burns good. 8, 9, 10. Oh, yeah. And when you're pressing those weights up overhead, you're not trying to lock elbows out with your biceps by ears. You're slightly out in front of your cheekbones. If you look up, you can see your hands up here. You don't want to lock out the shoulder with weight up overhead. It's not a natural joint position. I learned that from the 2023 World Strongman Champion. So one of the strongest human beings who've ever walked the earth. And he says if you want to injure your shoulders, press heavy loads directly over your head. If you want to use the shoulder the way it was made to be used, then you press it up and at an angle. Okay, there's a slight angle to it so you're not over-rotating, over-exerting the shoulder joint. Okay, we've got high knees for 100. Here we go, folks. We're gonna keep it pretty simple. By the time we're done with this workout, we should have a pretty good pump in the chest and shoulders. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, 100 high knees. Let's get it. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. I really want to talk about vitamin Bs, but it's super hard to count. 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 50, excuse me, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900. Ha ha ha. It's just I've been really nerding out on this whole B vitamin topic because there's so much like evolutionary behavior behind it, you know, amongst animals. And then you start to see the different populaces of people who are low in it, and some of the physiological impacts that it has, but also some of the psychological personality traits that people tend to carry based upon their diet style. It's a very fascinating little corner of thought, you know, that if you don't eat animals, you have a little bit more peacefulness to you. But if you eat animals, it makes sense that you'd have a little bit more of a carnivore in you, if you will. Not saying one's the right way, obviously, you know, killing things sucks. But you know, our biology is an interesting thing when we look at our diets. It's a fascinating little corner of thought, especially when you start getting philosophical about it. That's where you start to look at this is a direction that a species goes in based upon their diet, and you know, that's a whole another hole of thinking. All right, here we go. We're going to come into clean and squat, folks. Cleaning and squatting. I could say from personal experience, there was a period of time in my life for about 3 years where I was largely plant-based, and I will say the biggest thing I noticed was my physical body did get weaker. That was 1,000%. However, my mind became a lot more open and loving and compassionate for others. This is a fact. Like, there was just something different in my consciousness, and it made me a lot more open, and I feel like I grew during that time a lot. However, I was fighting mixed martial arts at the time, and so I needed to have some tenacity, and it did impact that. However, I don't regret it at all, because it was a huge moment in consciousness expansion during my life. Here we go. Cleaning and squatting. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Clean it, squat it, release it. Clean it, squat it, release it. 2, 3. And I suspect that these chemicals and these B vitamins that are so closely associated with meat have a physiological and psychological impact on our bodies at an unconscious level, to the extent that I think it can drive evolution because it acts on our DNA. I'm gonna go one more. I mean, just the physical presence of vitamin B1 and vitamin B12 encourages DNA replication. What? DNA is evolution, folks. Just in case you didn't know. That's how animals adapt to their environment, is that helix changes. And all of a sudden you have these B vitamins coming in that are more associated with eating flesh. Well, I have a feeling that might change your DNA a little bit, might make you think a little different. But also having super low levels of that might also have an impact in your thinking, especially if other things get out of control. Nice job, y'all. Here we go. We got pull-ups, or we've got that alternating kettlebell row. Okay, alternating bent kettlebell row, or if you have a pull-up bar, you're busting out pull-ups, your pull-ups. And I'm not gonna give you a rep range on pull-ups because pull-ups are individual to each person. But if you can get 10, that's a dang good number. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We got 20 here. 2, 3. And the problem with B vitamins is one of the things that drives down B vitamin is carbohydrate. It's very interesting what they found. Higher blood glucose drives down the availability of B12 into the tissues. And when there's B12 in the tissues, it like encourages faster healing, better blood flow, all these different genetic changes in the cells. But without it, they don't have as high oxygen or iron. Last one. Woo. Like, totally could be a placebo effect, but so I recently got a B12 injection, hydroxycobalamin, and then I've been supplementing an oral B12 or a B complex every day, just once a day, 1 pill a day, like you would normally. But then I went and bought 15 pounds of grass-fed liver from a local farm down the street. And I've been eating liver all week. I will say, like, something I've noticed is, other than my sleep quality dramatically improving, measurably on both how I feel and my devices, that there's almost like this intensity behind my eyes that I'm starting to become a little aware of, that I'm like, whoa, okay, tone it down, dude, back it up. All right, y'all, here we go. We got that Bulgarian. I'm really digging no weight today, so I'm just doing Bulgarian body weights. And you'll notice the angle of my leg here, folks. I'm not locking it out. You do not want to lock this leg. You want to be about here. You want to load it, touch, fire it. Load it, fire it. All right? This is for your hamstring and your entire glute structure. Here we go, left leg, 10 to 15, let's go. However, back to B vitamins. If you are having problems, okay, if you know this is a thing, like I'm having problems with this, one of the things is a lot of these B vitamins are digested in the fermentation phase, in the last stages of your digestive tract, which makes it some of the most expensive molecules that our body produces. Well, it's not actually our body producing them, it's bacteria. So when we have high sugar, high carb, we drive it down. We drive the availability down the blood by doing that. But when we have high sugar, high carb, it basically makes it harder to transport and less available in your bloodstream. And then the more often you eat, the more you're pushing the material through your digestive tract faster and not giving it really time to ferment. And or your stomach acid is too low and your stomach acid isn't cooking the food enough to crack the B12 and create the the digestive fire to create fermentation. Other leg, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. It's surprisingly difficult to talk nutrition in detail while exercising at the same time. 2, 3, load the glute and hammy. 4, don't overload the hammy here. 5, 6, and I don't care if you touch the floor. I'd rather better form, less stretch in the hamstring, maybe even stopping about 6 inches above the ground, maybe touching a dumbbell or a kettlebell. 8, 9, 10. Oh, 12's good. You know, so in all essence, it could be said that vitamin B12, which is this thing our body uses to be stronger, get stronger, is kind of almost like this domineering compound. It almost, like, you know, I've noticed I've been giving my dog Nako quite a bit of it lately. He's a little bit more intense too. He's a little more territorial. He's got a little more domineering, I must say. So, and that makes sense. It makes sense from a biological level. All right, here we go. Push-ups, your push-up, okay? Your push-up. My heart rate's sitting at about a 125, but it's also 113. It's also kind of warm. I'm in the sun a little bit. Here we go, y'all. Your push-ups. 3, 2, 15 to 25, followed by 10 overhead presses. 1 high plank, or from the knees. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo-hoo-hoo. You don't have to keep up with me, all right? Do your best on your push-up. Most of the quality is going to happen in the push-up. Don't rush to get to your overhead presses. But when you do, you got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll notice I'm kind of looking up at my weights. Oh, where are we at? Yeah. So I was talking about like how you get it, right? How you can get more of it. It's difficult because of the digestive system is really picky. And you have to have the right digestive chemistry, especially with the stomach acid from the start, to get adequate levels of it, even if you supplement it. But if you're gonna supplement it, it's methylcobalamin, vitamin B12 from methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. And you need to let it sit under your tongue. It has to permeate sublingually through the tissue under your tongue. That's the best way to get it into the bloodstream. Otherwise, you have to inject it. The oral cobalamin requires 2 extra steps of digestion for the molecule to get to where it needs to go. So there's less of a chance that it'll make it there. It's harder to get it orally, especially if your body's not used to it. So one of the things is you want to make sure you have strong. Okay, seems to be working. Oh, cool. Seems to be working. I like it when things work. Okay, we got 100 high knees. All right, 100 high knees. Counting each one. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 50, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 70, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 80, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 90, 1, 2, 5, 6, 900. We're breathing. Nice, big, full, deep breaths. One interesting side effect of low B1 and low B12 alike is this feeling of shortness of breath and sleep apnea, by the way. So shortness of breath is a common thing, and I think it has to do with the myelin sheath that's around your nervous system. So all the little wires and cables that run through your body, there's this little microscopic sheath that acts as like wiring insulation. And when that's under pressure in the wrong way, just like a nerve gets pinched, it shoots off a weird feeling. Well, when you don't have enough adequate myelin sheath and you go to take a deep breath, you've got so much nerve network coming through here that I think, it's my theory, it's getting pressed on. These nerves are getting pressed, and it creates this like I don't want to push into that feeling. And I see it with people. I see it with people who have either low cardiorespiratory health, low cardiovascular systems. They can't really push themselves very hard. Or like sleep apnea, for example, is another one because of the lack of nose breathing. All right, y'all, here we go. We got clean it and squat it. Clean it and squat it for 10. 3. Oh, that's a cool plane. 3, 2, 1. Let's get 10. 1. And the harder you work out, the more you work hard and use your brain, get your heart going, beat down your muscles, the more of these B vitamins you need for your body to feel relaxed enough to repair itself. Otherwise, you get stuck in a stress state and you don't recover. And it affects your sleep. And it appears like, too, you just kind of get like aches and pains. And just overall, you recover slower. And your energy is just down. You know, if you look at every single energy drink on the market, you're going to find 90% of the time, you're going to find caffeine mixed with cobalamin, vitamin B12. Well, what is that, folks? What is that association? It's a big vitamin, all right? That's what I'm trying to get by to everybody. It's not just like this thing that's just in stuff. No, it's this quite literally an evolutionary compound that either makes you vigorous or not. Woo! Okay, we got the pull-up or the alternating KB row. Here we go. I'm getting to it. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I put pull-ups today because some people out there have pull-up bars. And nothing beats a good old pull-up for the back. Not even this exercise I'm doing. 6. Pull-up is the Mac Daddy compound exercise to strengthen your back. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. It's 20. All right, folks. Bulgarians. We got some Bulgarians, baby. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, great, I'm just gonna get a B vitamin complex and supplement it. Yeah, you should. You probably should. And start drinking apple cider vinegar before and after your meals. Help the fermentation process of your meals. Put a ferment in there. Sauerkraut, get a ferment in there. It's the fermentation, folks, where we get a ton of valuable micronutrients from bacteria. But if we're eating so much so often that we're constantly pooping and, you know, it's not staying very long, or the fermentation process isn't happening very well, you know, then we got bigger issues. Here we go. Left leg down, 10 to 15. Single leg deadlifts, let's go. 1, 2, maintaining balance. Say, for example, I don't want to stretch down that far because of my hamstring. 3, I still extend and try to get like a T. 4, tee it up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9er. I'm gonna go for 12, 10, 11, and 12. So like I have a client who comes on site and I've always just kind of noticed he has a hard time taking a deep breath. Like if he does, he just kind of have almost like a neurological response to when I have him start breathing hard, he just doesn't do well. Well, he also has sleep apnea and wears a CPAP machine, all right? But when we first started working out together, he had this big bloated tummy, which told me pre-diabetes, too much excessive alcohol, and glucose intake. And those things drive down B1 and B12, right? So makes me think his diet highly correlated with the outcome of this shortness of breath, lack of nasal tone, and sleep apnea. Like, what a diagnosis. And I'm pretty damn confident that that's what it is. But, you know, there isn't going to be a doctor that goes that deep into anything. No way, Jose. All right, here we go. Other side. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2. And I will say 3, since I've been superdosing this chemical, I'm much more like, I'm not irritated. I'm not getting worked up. I'm not getting frustrated at things. I'm feeling pretty smooth sailing. Pretty confident. Yeah, it's like a sense of confidence, I guess, 9. Which makes sense from an evolutionary behavioral perspective of what the compound does to leadership. Breathing. All right. Listen, I got top of the hour, okay? If you want to stick around, we've got 2 more exercises. We got push-ups.